El miedo generalizado, pánico, ¿no?, a que tener un bebé enfermo, dañado.
Las parejas que estaban pensando concebir un niño en este año evitaran hacerlo.
Este llamado del gobierno es como que desconoce esta realidad.
When it comes to a disease like the Zika virus, there's a lot more that is kind of associated with it than just, the virus and people getting sick. This is something that has implications when it comes to religious rights, when it comes to reproductive rights, when it comes to the government's influence on, both of those aspects. So I think the virus was in a country that was already kind of dealing with a lot of these problems, and it just only kind of amplified those problems.
Este llamado del gobierno es como que desconoce esta realidad, que la gente no está informada.
El Salvador and the rest of Latin America are at war with the Zika virus. But rigid social policy here could be making the virus even more complicated. Starting in November of 2015, El Salvador was rocked with an increase of suspected cases of the virus.
Que en las primeras 2 semanas del mes de enero de 2016 han llegado a los 1,500 casos, mantienen en alerta a la población.
Some people is calling it the new Ebola. I don't know if it's the new Ebola, but we don't want to find out.
The sudden spike in cases caused the Pan American Health Organization to call for a countrywide alert. Not long after, researchers found direct links from the Zika virus to diseases such as microcephaly in newborns and Guillain-Barré in adults. So what immediate steps did the country take to combat the spread of the virus? To find out, we spoke with the Deputy Minister of Health, Eduardo Espinoza.
En esta primera semana hicimos una jornada nacional contra el zancudo. Hemos logrado bajar el índice larvario. Nosotros inspeccionamos semanalmente alrededor de unas 50,000 viviendas, todas las semanas, en todo el territorio nacional. Y la media nacional bajó de 14 a 8%. Ya hemos tenido una enorme cantidad de casos, precisamente la recomendación que hicimos a las embarazadas.
In a national broadcast, Dr. Espinoza caught a lot of international attention for a recommendation he and the Ministry of Health put forth.
Todas las mujeres en edad fértil que tomaran la precaución de planificar sus embarazos.
Las parejas que estaban pensando concebir un niño, ¿verdad?, en este año evitaran hacerlo.
But the same government telling women not to get pregnant hasn't given women many tools for planning pregnancies. So let's break this down. When it comes to reproductive rights in El Salvador, there are really 2 main decision-making entities. First is the Christian Church. Not only are 90% of Salvadorans Catholic or evangelical, but the church has high-ranking officials that have a lot of pull in the Salvadoran government. This means that access to effective contraceptives and sexual education is hard to come by. Even though the Pope in recent months said that contraceptives may be an effective way to protect oneself from contracting the Zika virus, only 11% of sexually active Salvadoran women reportedly use modern contraceptives, such as male condoms or oral contraceptives. The second decision maker is the Salvadoran government itself. The Salvadoran government boasts the strictest abortion laws in the world, prohibiting abortion in all cases, including rape and life-saving measures. But the abortion law doesn't stop there. If a woman is caught or even suspected of having an abortion, she can face anywhere from 2 to 50 years in prison. And this happens often. Just take a look at this graph. From 2000 to 2014, over 250 women were reported to police for suspicion of having an abortion. Of those 250, 147 were prosecuted and 49 were convicted. That's a conviction rate of 20%. Compare that to El Salvador's 8% conviction rate for sexual crimes against women. We spoke with Morena Herrera, who runs the Citizens Group for the Decriminalization of Abortion in San Salvador.
No es en sí negativo, que está bien prevenir el embarazo frente a esta emergencia sanitaria que significa el Zika. Lo que sí consideramos que es una orientación y una medida que no reconoce las realidades de la mayoría de las mujeres. En El Salvador, muchos de los embarazos no son decididos por las mujeres.
We now know that the Zika virus can be transmitted sexually and can lead to severe birth defects, including microcephaly and, in many cases, miscarriages. And remember that law where suspected abortions could land you some serious jail time? Well, that doesn't exclude miscarriages. Some mothers, including this woman who spoke to NPR, were confronted by the government in their own hospital bed.
Christina, you're being arrested for the murder of your child. I was shocked by what he had said.
As a result, miscarriages caused by Zika are a threat both to women's health in El Salvador and their freedom. The effort now is to make the government take notice.
Nosotras supimos de un médico privado donde dijo que en el mes de enero, en su clínica particular, atendió a 11 mujeres con Zika embarazadas cuyo feto había muerto. Entonces, esto es una sola clínica de gente que puede pagar. Algo está indicando este médico, miren, el problema es grave, esto era del mes de enero.
Y sobre todo si había tenido fiebre, rash, conjuntivitis, pudimos ver incrementarse a lo que es el aborto fallido.
Finales de noviembre, principios de diciembre, justo. Y en ese entonces se vio el aumento de las casos de Guillain-Barré, donde normalmente veíamos 4 o 5 casos al mes, hasta 20 casos reportados.
Están bastante preocupadas por el tema de la relación que podría tener el Zika con el síndrome de Guillain-Barré. Ya lo adelantamos.
Guillain-Barré syndrome. There's a good chance that you may have never heard of it, let alone know how to pronounce it. This neurological disorder is mostly associated with respiratory tract infections and gastroenteritis, but it has now become synonymous with the Zika virus. Starting as a tingling in the fingers or toes, this disease can quickly spread to the rest of the body, causing extreme muscle weakness and, in many cases, paralysis. We traveled to the National Hospital in El Salvador to get a better understanding of this neurological disorder and its connection to the Zika virus.
El ministerio sacó un dato que había aproximadamente 180 casos reportados en el 2014, para que vea que desde antes nosotros ya teníamos casos de Guillain-Barré. Ahora se aumentaron y a la fecha ya habían 138 solo en este periodo de tiempo que le menciono, diciembre, enero, febrero.
Dr. Susana Peña is a neurologist and part of a team spearheading research on the Guillain-Barré syndrome.
O sea, el virus ha dado como la oportunidad de crear nuevo conocimiento, porque tenemos un nuevo agente infeccioso que se ha comportado de una manera diferente en cuanto a los casos de Guillain-Barré. Hay 2 variantes clínicas que no eran las típicas que veíamos siempre, en donde hay mucho compromiso de lo que es la expresión facial, que se llama disparesia facial, y compromiso vulvar, manifestado por dificultad para deglutir o para articular las palabras.
Despite its strong connection with the Zika virus, no one really knows the exact reasons why Zika causes Guillain-Barré syndrome. Many believe that the Zika virus can partake in something called molecular mimicry, which means that it can essentially mimic the structure of a nerve. So when your immune system attempts to clear out the virus, it mistakenly begins to eat away at your own nerves, causing numbness and paralysis. Although this all sounds scary, keep in mind that if detected early, the chances of full recovery are quite high, and the number of confirmed cases of Guillain-Barré has been dropping. The number of Zika cases has dropped too, but there are reasons to doubt those numbers from the government. Not long after the boom of the Zika virus in Latin America, countries like Brazil and French Polynesia began to report a mysterious rise in both microcephaly and miscarriages. In our conversations with the Ministry of Health in March, we seemed to get the impression that neither microcephaly nor miscarriages were a big problem in the country, at least not yet.
Hasta el momento no hemos tenido todavía ningún caso de microcefalia que pueda verse asociado de la enfermedad de Zika, ¿verdad?
However, when we spoke with women's rights activists like Morena Herrera, we got a different story.
Nosotras supimos de un médico privado, atendió a 11 mujeres con Zika embarazadas cuyo feto había muerto.
The rise of miscarriages at this clinic is interesting because there's evidence that Zika can lead to microcephaly and suspicion that it can cause miscarriages.
Mi nombre es Nelson Mengíbar Zarco, soy ginecólogo obstetra, perinatólogo. Yo estimo que pude haber visto 10 pacientes en el lapso de 2 semanas que aparentemente sí tuvieron el Zika y que casualmente el embarazo no progresó. Hubo pacientes que vinieron asustadas, cualquier calentura, cualquier molestia propia, a veces hasta del embarazo, venían y decían, mire, yo me he sentido mal, quiero que me revise mi bebé, véalo.
What's remarkable about Zika is that we're still learning a lot about the virus, including its connection to microcephaly and miscarriages. According to a study from the Lancet Infectious Diseases, the Zika virus has been found to cross the placental barrier, which means that if a woman contracts the Zika virus before or during her pregnancy, there's a chance that the virus can spread directly to the amniotic fluid, which aids in the growth of the fetus. Furthermore, we now have strong evidence that the virus directly attacks brain cells. According to a study by Cell Stem Cell, when researchers exposed fetal stem cells to the Zika virus, the virus directly attacked the main building blocks of the brain's cortex. Ultimately, after months of research, the CDC announced that the virus's connection to microcephaly met the Shepherd's criteria, a 7-step test developed to determine whether a maternal infection directly causes birth defects. In late January, the number of reported Zika cases plummeted in El Salvador, but not because the government beat the virus.
Me imagino que la diseminación de la enfermedad o ya se da por hecho que a alguien le va a dar, o por los mismos problemas sociales de El Salvador, pues como que el tema ha pasado a un segundo plano.
What Dr. Zarco is saying is that, like many social problems in El Salvador, the people have lost faith in the government. And if the government can't help with Zika, why tell them you've contracted it? So if Zarco is right, there could be hundreds, if not thousands of women in El Salvador who are currently pregnant and were infected with the Zika virus, who simply never went to check out their pregnancy or report their Zika contraction because they didn't see the point. And this is something that the Ministry of Health knows could be a problem.
Porque los niños que se infectaron o las embarazadas que se infectaron en el primer trimestre del embarazo, partiendo de que el virus comenzó a circular a mediados de noviembre, van a estar naciendo como en julio o en agosto. Hasta entonces que podremos nosotros verificar si efectivamente vamos a tener incremento de microcefalia o no.
Because of this, Zika's most severe effects might not show until months after the infection, and its initial symptoms aren't always obvious, which has made preparation for the virus in the US especially tricky.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Everything we look at with this virus seems to be a bit scarier than we initially thought.
We think that there may be other neurological disorders that are caused as a consequence of Zika, and we don't know all of the potential effects. We do know that they are serious.
Pues ahorita que apenas llevamos 3 días, pues ya hicimos más de 14 pruebas. Entonces ahora que ya la tenemos, nosotros esperaríamos pues ayudar a la población en general, ¿verdad? Para que pueda tener un diagnóstico más temprano.
A sobering update on Zika today.
It's the first time we've had a virus spread by a mosquito that could cause a birth defect.
Anywhere that this particular kind of mosquito goes, which is as far north as New York and as San Francisco, it's going to be very prevalent here in the United States starting next month.
With reports like these, it's easy to get swept up in the Zika hysteria. But how much of this is over-exaggerated? Well, first off, let's take a look at what we know. This is the predicted range that the Aedes aegypti, the Zika-carrying mosquito, can travel in the continental United States this summer. According to the CDC, the virus does have the potential to affect more than half of the continental United States. But that's not to say that half of the US population will contract the virus. The number of confirmed contractions in the US will most likely be low. And 4 out of 5 people infected with the Zika virus won't even notice they have it. That doesn't mean the US shouldn't prepare. And so far, Congress is doing a poor job. Partisan politics held up funding for Zika while lawmakers left for summer vacation, despite pleading from federal health officials.
We need to act now to protect Americans, particularly mothers and babies.
Here's what the proposed $1.9 billion in funding would go to. The race to develop a vaccine, disease control, and education on the virus are all steps that any normal health emergency requires. But some of the more costly aspects are providing health services to low-income and pregnant women. It's crucial that a woman avoid contracting the virus if she's attempting to be or is currently pregnant. And the only way a health provider can tell if a pregnancy has been compromised by the virus is through expensive testing. This is a lesson that the CDC and US government could learn from quite an unlikely place. At a hospital in San Salvador, a laboratory has implemented a test that could be revolutionary in the region's fight against Zika.
Solamente le podíamos dar al médico si se tenía chikungunya o tenía dengue, porque no teníamos una prueba que cubriera todos los arbovirus como la que tenemos ahorita.
A patient who suspects that they have the Zika virus can come to the laboratory and give their blood. This blood is then combed over meticulously with a technique called immunofluorescence, which allows the microscope to detect various types of infections.
Entonces, es una prueba mosaico que se hacen 6 diferentes pruebas en una sola, que es dengue, los cuatro serotipos, Zika y Chik.
This test is a huge step in the country's fight against Zika. The ability to correctly diagnose Zika in its early stages gives a patient a lot of information.
Los síntomas son bien similares en todos los arbovirus, tanto para dengue, Chik, Zika. Entonces es bien importante el saber o el conocer qué es lo que a mí me ha dado. Porque, por ejemplo, Zika está bien relacionado con la microcefalia en los recién nacidos. Entonces, para una mujer embarazada es bien importante saber qué es lo que ella le ha dado.
However, the test doesn't come without its own set of downfalls. It currently costs $125 to have your blood tested, which equates to about 20% of an average Salvadorian's monthly salary. Regardless, it's exciting to see medical progress like this in a country that was and still is deeply affected by the Zika virus. There are still many unknowns regarding the Zika virus's potential impact over the next few months and years. There are a few indications that the fight against Zika may be a winnable battle. Clinical human trials are beginning with a new vaccine. The World Health Organization is cautious but optimistic that the Olympics in Rio will go off without a Zika problem, and the US government is getting closer to reaching the $1.9 billion in funding. However, in El Salvador, the country has deeper-rooted problems that are only amplified by the rise of the virus. The country shows no sign of changing its abortion laws, or its laws putting women who have miscarriages at risk for murder charges, which spells trouble for pregnant women in El Salvador who may have been infected with the virus. The country also needs to find a more cost-effective way to diagnose the virus in its population. In the end, we've seen how much of an impact the mosquito has, responsible for several million deaths a year. It remains the deadliest animal on Earth.
I think they're going to realize that within the coming months, they're going to see an increase once again in maybe Zika cases, as well as increase in cases in microcephaly, miscarriages, all the kind of baggage that comes with Zika, and then just going forward in kind of a combative way or a way to kind of beat the virus. The U.S. has a lot of kind of play in that. If we don't. I guess if we continue to ignore the $1.9 billion in funding that Obama is proposing, a good chunk of that funding goes towards finding a vaccine and finding ways to beat the virus in countries where it really is kind of a hotbed. So when it comes to getting that funding, especially within the next few weeks or days, that's crucial. I mean, those days, every single day that we don't have a vaccine, the Zika virus can continue to grow. So I think that's huge. I think we need to realize that we play a role in El Salvador's fight against this virus.